This glitch literally killed every single person in World of Warcraft. The Blood Plague glitch was one of the most devastating glitches in all of gaming history. It literally made the game unplayable for a couple of days. And I'm not kidding when I say the game was unplayable. You would step into a capital city and you would just die pretty much instantly. It was impossible to get anything done in the game, and the only way you could escape from it was by going to a place where there were no other players playing. However, this was not a glitch that was intentional by any other player's part. This was something that was an oversight by Blizzard. Not so much a fault of any single player, although later on many people caught on to how this glitch started and they started replicating it themselves, and they just destroyed their capital city on their server. Of course, when you have the power to kill everyone in your city, loads of people are going to want to be trolls, and they will exploit this glitch and kill everyone in their city using this. What I am talking about is of course the Blood Plague incident. Now, the Blood Plague incident was something that started in Zul'Gurub. The final boss of the raid, called Hakar the Soulflayer, had a debuff that he would put on players. What this debuff did was a basic DOT, however it had the unique effect of spreading to nearby players. So any nearby friendly target that was near you while you had this debuff would also contract this debuff. So in the raid setting, you would want to separate the players out from each other so the debuff wouldn't spread to all of your raid. Of course, this is in the raid and not in the outside world. The Patient Zero was probably a hunter that had no idea this would ever happen. At the time, Hakar the Soulflayer would put on a debuff on any raid member, including pets. So when you had a pet and you dismissed the pet would retain the debuff until you summoned him again. Namely, in a capital city or somewhere outside of Zul'Gurub. So what happened was, a hunter got this debuff, a hunter got the Blood Plague and was dismissed, and he was brought back in a capital city, and all hell broke loose. Many players got contracted with this debuff, and of course other NPCs would also carry it. This all resulted in a complete catastrophe where literally every single person in the capital cities were just bound to die, including NPCs. And because NPCs constantly respawn, the debuff will never actually go away since there will always be NPCs to carry the debuff with them. The Blood Plague did some significant damage, and with a level 60 it could kill you within about 30 seconds. However, for the lower players, they would literally just step into Ironforge or Orgrimmar and they would just get killed. The amount of skeletons that were left after this Blood Plague was just immense, and capital cities like Stormwinds and Orgrimmar looked like complete graveyards where there was just so much skeletons on the floor from people that had no idea what was going on. Of course, since word got out of what happened on the server, many other people figured out what actually happened and they started to replicate it themselves on their own server. Many trolls would get their hunter pet, contract the debuff, and then bring it into a capital city where they could essentially destroy the whole city. It got to the point where the game was pretty much unplayable for a day or two before it eventually got patched. However, something quite interesting happened where there were these quarantine camps that were set outside the cities where people would dispel the debuff for you. And these were supposed to be like safe zones where you could go and you wouldn't have to worry about getting the Blood Plague. However, of course the trolls brought in the Blood Plague to infect these quarantine camps as well, and they didn't last long either. So it was pretty clear that Blizzard had to do something, and Blizzard very quickly patched this. They changed the debuff from Hakar the Soulflayer to only work on players and not pets, and after that the Blood Plague was no more. But this has quite an interesting legacy where this incident has actually been referenced in real academic studies that try to understand how humans would react in a similar situation. Let's say if there was some kind of virus outbreak in a capital city, what would people do? During a virus epidemic, the capital cities become no-go zones and the outside actually becomes quite more attractive. There were many strange and unique things that happened in World of Warcraft Classic. And hopefully when Classic WoW gets re-released by Blizzard, we will get to experience the Blood Plague once again, just for the hell of it. Like, why can't Blizzard let's just have one day of the Blood Plague being allowed? But of course that's never gonna happen. That's just my wishful thinking. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more. This is vaulty signing out.